Hi Flosstube, I'm Rachel Stitchy Rach here on Flosstube and also on Instagram. It is Friday the 20th of May and this is a YouTube channel about cross stitch. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Big hello if it's your first time here, you're very welcome. I hope you'll stick around and a big hello to all my returning viewers. Thank you for coming back week after week, I really appreciate it. Well, I said last time you saw me that I was going to film every week in May, and here I am 2 weeks later. But I did film last week, or at least I thought I did. And then I film on a camera, and when I got the memory card out of the camera, there was no film there. And life has been really busy, and I just didn't have time to redo it. So exactly what I said I didn't want to happen has happened, and so now I need to go through 2 weeks stitching with you, and it's going to be a long one, so you may want to go and get yourself a drink and find yourself somewhere comfortable to sit, because this is not going to be quick at all. I hope I can get through it all in one take. I'm filming earlier in the day than I usually do, so hopefully I won't be running up against the school run. Yeah, it was super annoying, partly because it was really, I thought it was like a really good film as well. One of the better ones I've done, so sorry. But yeah, it was super annoying. And yeah, you did loads of stuff with me. I showed you my whips. We spun a wheel to pick my new starts and everything. And it's all gone. So yeah, you don't get to see that. But you do get to see a lot of whips. In fact, I'll tell you how many you're going to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 12, 13. You'll see 14 whips today. And a knitting whip. The teeniest, tiniest bit of all. Yeah, and can you tell my voice is slightly going? I've got, well, two things. I think I've got a really, really, really mild cold. Not anything to kind of, I wouldn't even say I'm ill, just a bit, I'm not even there. I know, I'm just a bit coughy on occasion. Anyway, I've got a really minor cold and my hay fever has definitely kicked off. And so if I do sneeze, apologies in advance. But it's that time of year. And my hay fever doesn't last very long. I don't know what I'm allergic to, but it comes from about now. But then by the kind of middle of July, I'm fine. But when I have it, I tend to have it really bad. And I think the only reason it's not too bad today is because it is absolutely pouring. Weekly weather with Rachel, absolutely pouring here in Kent today. But you know what, we desperately need it. We haven't had rain for weeks and weeks, and already in May the ground was like cracking. So pleased to have the rain, even if it, you know, it's raining. It's fine, it's fine. It means that I don't feel guilty for sitting inside and spending an hour and a half with you guys, so it's all good. So do I have anything else to say? Life's been super busy. Super busy. That's why I didn't have time to refilm it after it disappeared last week. We've just been so busy in the garden, seeing friends. Part of the reason I'm filming earlier today is that as a school thing, one of my children is in a poetry reading competition at school this afternoon, so I'm going to watch that. So yeah, it's just all go, 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 really. Yeah. So I'm going to have a slurp of my not very nice tea. So I won't tell you what brand it is. We were given a hamper, like an afternoon tea hamper. It had cakes and biscuits and whatnot in it. And it had some coffee, and then it also had tea bags. And tea is my drink. I drink a lot of tea, probably more than I should. And so I opened this tin of tea bags. They're horrible. They're really nasty. But I'm one of those people that I'm like, well, it is just wasteful to throw them away. And I couldn't possibly give them to a guest because they're absolutely rank. But now they're open, I can't bring myself to not finish them. I'm usually, and I wouldn't say I'm drinking less tea, but I clearly am, because usually we get through a lot of tea bags, or maybe it's just my husband's drinking less tea because they're so horrible. So usually we get through tea bags quite quickly in this house. But I don't know if these are spawning at night or whatever, but they seem never ending. They seem never ever ending. Anyway, determined to drink my way through it. As I say, I won't mention the brand because I don't think it's very fair to publicly admonish them for their horrible tea. So yeah, I have a slurp of my not very nice tea. As I say, I didn't want this to happen, so this could be feature length, guys. It could be feature length. There is a lot here. And I might need something stronger than a cup of tea by the time I've filmed this and sat through a primary school poetry reading competition. My life is so rock and roll. Okay, I'm going to kick off. I'm going to try and take these in order. I mainly have pictures of where they were last time you saw them. I will try and give you all the details. Yeah. Let's see where we get to. I'm debating whether to put the light on. The light looks alright on the camera, on the screen that I can see myself on, but it is quite gloomy in here. So we'll see how we get on. I might stick the light on in a minute if necessary. Okay, let's go. Let's just dive in. So, I'm going to start with this one. This one is not a Stitch Mania project. Excuse me. Everything else I'm going to show you is a Stitch Mania project, but this one isn't. This is my out and about stitching wear, and I have stitched on it a little bit since I last saw you. Not huge amounts, but I've been using this on days where my Mania piece is too big to take out and about with me, or it was like a new start and I didn't want to be trying to new start something, you know, not in a car. It's not ideal for me. It's not ideal. So I have still been working on and off on Caterpillar Cross Stitch Seize the Day. This is still available on their website. I bought it when it was a mystery sale and obviously didn't keep up, because who keeps up with sales? If you do keep up with sales, all sales, fair play to you, but I mean, I just don't. And to me, they're just start-alongs, aren't they? Maybe a little bit, I was going to say weird if you keep up with sales. That's not fair. You're just clearly more organised or have more time than me or are more dedicated than me. I tend to start mystery sales. I've kind of given up starting mystery sales because I'll start them based on like a tiny little preview. Do you know what? I think my Ocado's here. That's typical, isn't it? Bear with me. Hi everyone, sorry about that. That was my shopping arriving. I kind of hadn't really thought about the time properly and hadn't realised my shopping was about to arrive. Anyway, where were we? I was showing you Seize the Day by Caterpillar Cross Stitch and saying that I don't really do mystery sales anymore because I start them, I'd sign up for them based on like a preview or a little bit of it, and then as more and more bits got released, I'd find myself being like, would I have stitched this if I'd seen the whole thing to start with? So I've kind of held off on mystery sales for a while now, but I did start this as a mystery sale and did kind of fall off it fairly quickly, but I picked it back up. I'm not going to insert a picture of where it was last time because I'm not sure where it was last time because I did show it when I filmed last week, and so I just can't remember where it was, and I don't know if I have a picture. Anyway, but here is where it is now. So, plodding along, there are a few random blank bits, and that is because I need to go and find out where those threads are because they're not in the project bag. And, you know, it should be a fairly easy job. I just need to flick through my bobbin. So as I showed you last time, my bobbin library, thank you for everyone who liked the idea and made comments about it. So it's just a question of actually going and doing it. I just haven't actually gone and done it. This is stitched on, it's not the called for, it's a 32 count Belfast in Gold Rush by Crafty Kitten fabric. They don't appear to be trading anymore, so I'm sorry you probably can't get hold of it. And it's stitched in all the called for DMC, apart from the towel, which was a thread of the month by Jodry Designs a few years ago. Okay, So that is seize the day. So one down. We're one down. Okay, I'm going to have to put stuff away. Sorry for the crinkle crinkle, otherwise this is just going to be a complete bomb site. I hadn't actually tidied up from when I didn't film last week, so... Okay, then last time I saw you, I was about to pull out this next piece, which is a Dimensions Gold kit, and it's called English Castle. And the reason I like this is it's actually based on Scotney Castle, which isn't far from where I live, which is a National Trust property. I really like it. I will, if I remember, I will link Scotney Castle in the description box below, and you can go and have a look at how similar it is to this picture. I will say before I show you this that I started this Dimensions kit last Stitch Mania, so Stitch Mania 2021, and it was stitched on that day, and it's been stitched on for one day in Stitch Mania this year. So there is not a lot of progress. It's a piece that needs some serious attention, and not just one day here and one day there. So I will try and show this to you and try and work out which is the right way up, because I think in my work trade I might even have held it the wrong way up. Anyway, so this is where it was last time. And here is where it is now. As you can see, not a huge amount of change. It's mainly a little bit more of the red and that purple going off to the right, or your left, I suppose it will be. Yeah. So there's a long way to go. I've never stitched a Dimensions Gold kit before, which is, you know, an admission, isn't it? So I'm still getting used to, you have to use different numbers of strands for different bits of stitching, and they're quite different from other cross-stitch kits, I think. I'm just using all the kit materials, so all the threads that came with the kit, and I'm also using the 18 count Ada that came with the kit because it's mainly full coverage, and the only bit that isn't is this bit of sky up here, and I don't think that's going to bother me in the finished product. Not that Ada should bother you, it's just if I have a lot of negative space in a design, I prefer it to be on linen for me, just for the finished look than Ada. But that is a personal preference, and casting absolutely no aspersions on anyone who likes Ada. Stitch with what you like. Okay, so I stitched that on the 6th of May. I'm going to cough now, bear with me. I'll edit that out. And then, if you remember last time, I said on the 7th I didn't know if I would get any of my Mania stitching done because we were having a dinner party. Well, I didn't get any of my Mania stitching done because we had a dinner party. But we had a really good time, and it was, yeah, good laugh and a bit boozy, and I think we all had a really good time. So my piece for the 7th of May, I'm looking over here because my notebook's here to remind me what's going on. Yeah, my piece for the 7th of May, which was Cottage Garden Samplings Forever and Ever, did not get any love this year. So, but I had great fun, so, you know. Sometimes stitching is not the most important thing in the world. Okay, so then on Sunday the 8th, oh, that tea's cold now. It's not only disgusting, it's also cold and disgusting. Ugh. So on Sunday the 8th, I was exhausted because I think our guests finally left about 1 o'clock, and then we quickly put the dishwasher on. And there was still, you know, stuff everywhere in the morning because all the glassware had to be hand washed. But that's the sign of a good night if your kitchen's a mess in the morning. So I was exhausted. So again, didn't get huge amounts of stitching done. I even had a nap on the Sunday afternoon because I was just like, my husband, I just can't. I'm just so tired. Anyway, my piece for the 8th was House on Pumpkin Hill Pin Keep by Stacey Nash Primitives. Sorry if you're getting a little bit of glare there. That's that one. I really like this one. Really like it. Again, this one has only had 2 days of stitching on it. So Mania 2021 and Mania this year. And here is where I am. So I've got most of this pumpkin done. That pumpkin is the middle pumpkin here. This again is stitched with all the called for, so it's 32 count Belfast linen in charcoal by Zweigart, and I'm stitching it with all the called for threads, which are Gentle Arts. And there's only 4 threads, so I absolutely love this. This one I'd really like to just knuckle down, and it's not huge, so it is a potential for an out and about project, particularly with the limited colour palette. And that's fine for me because I have no problem stitching on. I know a lot of people don't like stitching on dark fabric, but I am not. It doesn't bother me. I don't find it particularly challenging. I suppose if it was really small I might. But I think I'm a bit weird when I stitch in that I don't particularly look for the holes as to where to put my needle through. Obviously my needle does go through the holes, but I actually look more at the weft. Is it the weft? Do you call it the weft? The weft of the cloth to see where I should put my needle through. So I actually, the few times, because a lot of people recommend putting a light underneath dark fabric so you can see the holes, but that actually just sends my eyes a bit doolally. I don't like it. So for me it's more about being able to see the grain of the fabric than being able to see the hole. I hope that makes sense. So yes, dark fabric doesn't massively bother me. Anyway, so that was what I stitched on the 8th. Hopefully I would have remembered to put up a picture of where it was last time. And then on Monday the 9th, I actually got quite a bit of stitching done. And on Monday the 9th, I stitched on Seasons of the Heart Spring by The Blue Flower. This was from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, Spring 2021. I get a digital subscription to that magazine. This was a whole seasonal series, so there was a summer, autumn and winter in the relevant editions of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher as well, but I've only started this one so far. Here's where it was last time. And what did I get done this time? I made some really good progress on this. I was really pleased. The right way up. There. So as you can see, I got a lot more on that heart done, on the kind of trellis heart, and I started to get into some of the fun flowers and vines and grass and whatnot. So yeah, really pleased with my progress there. This is stitched on 32 count Raven's Core by Chromatic Alchemy. That's a truer colour back there than when I move it closer. I think when I move it closer it looks a bit more grey. It does have grey in it. It's kind of a blue and grey overdye, but that is better. And I'm stitching it in all the called for DMC. As I was going through these and stitching on them, quite a lot of my more recent starts are on kind of 40 count, which I really like, and I really like the finished effect, and for some pieces definitely 40 count is the way forward. And again, I'm very lucky with my eyes in that I don't need magnification or anything for a 40 count. I'm quite happy stitching on dark fabric. It might change as I get older, I don't know. I mean, I am actually blind as a bat. I wear contact lenses, can't see a thing without those on my glasses, but in terms of with the correction of the contact lenses, I'm very lucky that my eyes will do it. But I digress. What I was saying was that quite a few of these on 32 count, and I actually just really enjoyed stitching with 2 threads over 2 on 32 count. It actually just felt it was going a lot quicker sometimes than the 40 count. So while I'm not going to give up on the smaller counts, and I do really like stitching on them for some projects, I am wondering about getting a bit more 32 count back into my mix. I really felt like a real sweet spot. It felt easier stitching, like just more relaxing stitching. So maybe a bit more 32 count in my mix going forward. Okie dokes. So the next one on the 10th was another one that has literally had, the day it was started, and this year's Stitch Mania stitched on it. The last one I showed you, that has had a few, not a lot, but a few other ad hoc days here and there. So this is Sansusi by Long Dog. Oh, I'm just showing you the title. By Long Dog Samplers. Long Dog Samplers. Why can't I think of the name there? I bought this again as a mystery sale when So-and-So still in existence and were doing mystery sales. I didn't start it then. So I have the whole thing. You can now just buy it on Long Dog website. I think you can get it as a hard copy from Needle Workshops as well. I am stitching this on another piece of 32 count Chromatic Alchemy in the colour Nereus. 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 And this is the extent of my progress on this. There you go. Now, I am stitching this in Thread Picker Silks in the colourway Sloth. Now, I'm just going to show you this. So Sloth, actually, focus on that, not me. There you go. That's showing reasonably true, perhaps a little yellower than it is in real life, but Sloth is a very delicate, let's see if I can get another strand. Just knocked my phone on the floor. It's a very delicate kind of pale blue, silvery grey. And I really, really love this. I've got enough to do the whole thing. And I really love the fabric. I'm not sure I love them together. So where I'm coming from is that I thought this would look really good as kind of a blue on blue. But I actually think the blue of the fabric is so strong and the blue of the thread is so delicate that the fabric is just completely washing out any colour from the thread. See what I mean? I think it just looks white. I mean, right up close to it, I can see it's not, but I would have to be like right up to it. And I think from any kind of distance, it just looks white. What do you think? So I'm in a dilemma with this piece because obviously it hasn't... Let me see if I can get it to focus. Do you think that looks blue or do you think it looks white? I think it looks white. So I'm in a dilemma with this. Because obviously this is all kind of... There's no big blocks of colour yet either, whereas obviously there will be blocks of colour. But there's not many stitches in it. So I feel I'm at decision point. This either needs ripping out and starting again with a different either thread choice or fabric choice or something completely different, or I have to persevere. But if I persevere and put, say, a week or 10 days stitching in it, then I won't, even if it doesn't look right, I will feel I'm too far gone to then rip it out. And I don't usually UFO things. I do want to stitch this. It's not that I don't want to stitch this. I absolutely do. But I am really just seriously questioning the choice. So, what do you think I should do? Can you tell me in the comments? Do you think this fabric is doing justice to this thread? Or not? And therefore, do you think I should just start again? And I say, I think it's decision time now. I don't want to go further to then decide to rip it out. If I go further, I've got to keep going. Let me know what you think. Because I'm just, as I say, having a bit of a dilemma on that one. And I recorded that in last week's video as well. And I'm still having a dilemma about it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. So that was Tuesday the 10th. Right. Wednesday the 11th was in this amazing, project bag by House of Stitch and Stash. Got the handle, got all the things, very squishy, love it. I was in her project bag of the month club last year. I don't think she's run it again this year, but I'm not sure. So in this bag is Jane Marshall 1857 by Hands Across the Sea. I bought this when it was a fundraiser for the Australian bushfires at the beginning of 2020. I think you can just buy it on their website now. I don't think it's a fundraiser anymore. Anyway, and I love this piece. I really, really love this. Let me show you where it was last time and where it is now. I made some good progress on this, given that it was only one day of stitching. Here's where I am now. So I finished that top kind of alphabet and number sequence, and then I did that red line underneath. So yeah, really pleased with that, absolutely love it. Can't wait to get this back out and stitch on it some more. And I think this is on my whip go board for a week of stitching this year. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it is. This is stitched on 36 count clotted cream. Now I don't think you can see the colour properly. Can you see? That's better. You can kind of see it against the white a bit more easily. It is the colour of clotted cream. 36 count clotted cream by Fox Glove and Lace Linen, who I will link below. And I am stitching it in my own conversion. So it's charted in silks, Soie d'Alger, and there is a DMC conversion, but I used it as an opportunity to break into the stash. So this is my colour palette. It's not massively dissimilar to what's charted, but it's what I pulled from my stash. There's a combination of colour and cotton, so that really bright red is Bing Cherry, excuse me, Bing Cherry by Colour and Cotton. There's some classic colourworks. Yeah, all Colour and Cotton or classic colourworks. So yeah, really, really happy with that colour palette. I'm really looking forward to getting back to that one. Absolutely love it. So yeah, that was that. Excuse me. Right. And then the 12th of May was my first new start of Stitch Mania, and well, if my filming had worked last week, we would have, not for this piece, I did film this piece last week, but I put together a decision wheel on my phone on the Tiny Decisions app. I have an Apple phone, so I think there's a different app for Android. I think it's called Decision Roulette, but anyway, I use Tiny Decisions on my iPhone, and I put up a wheel and got the wheel to pick what I would start every day. And on the 12th, piles collapsing. On the 12th, it picked out, well, if I show you this, my Teresa Kogut start. This bag is from Penelope's Pocket. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love Penelope's pocket bags. I love the tassel handles, tassel zip pulls that she makes. Just love everything about them. I know she hasn't got any more Teresa Kogut bags, but she has lots of lovely bags. So do go have a look at her website that's linked below. I'm not in any way paid. I bought this bag. I just love Sarah's bags. Anyway, so what is in my Teresa Kogut bag? What is in my Teresa Kogut bag is this. Focus. There you go. This piece here, which is My Big Bird, and it's from the Love Lives Here book, which was released at market this year. I only got a really small start on this. This is, sorry for that extremely frayed edged fabric, but this is where I am. As you can see, not a lot got done, but I started the border in the corner, this bit of yellow in the corner. This is stitched on a 40 count Newcastle linen that I dyed myself, and it's stitched in an over dyed conversion. So the chart in the book calls for DMC, but when you look, let me find the big picture of the model in the book. When you look at the model in the book, there you go, can you see it looks like it's stitched in overdyed, not in DMC. And this book is a collection of charts that that Teresa Kogut released to her Patreons. I'm not her Patreon, but that's where they were released first. And all the models are stitched by people who are in her Patreon. Excuse me. I told you, I'm just a bit, yeah. And they're all named, so there's a name against, you know, each model as to who stitched it. And the name against my big bird is the same name as someone I follow on Instagram. So I messaged them and said, "Are you this person?" And they said yes. And I said, "Would you mind telling me what you stitched it in?" And they were really lovely and said not at all, and sent me their conversion, which was super nice. Now, since I last mentioned that, a couple of people have asked me for that conversion, and I don't want to give it out because it's not mine. I don't feel I can give out someone else's conversion. So what I will do when I have a moment is I will message her again and say, "Are you happy for me to pass on your conversion? Because people have asked me for it." But if not, I don't really feel I can. I hope people understand that. What I will say is that it was not difficult to find this lady. If you have this book, her name's in it. It was not difficult to find this lady, and I just dropped her a message on Instagram. So, yeah, that's all I'll say about that. But that is where I am with that one. I am, yeah, as I say, I'm using her conversion, which I assume is very similar to what is actually charted, but that's what it looks like. Yeah, and I say it's in my Penelope pocket project bag. Penelope's pocket project bag. So that's what I got done on the 12th of May. Sorry, just putting everything away. And then on the 13th of May, I was back to whips. And again, this is another amazing Penelope's pocket project bag. How cool is that bag? Love it. Another tassel. And what is in this bag is Plum Street Samplers Snort Stack. How perfect is this project bag with that project? I literally don't think a better project bag could have been found, even if you were looking for it. So Snort Stack I started last year in Stitch Mania, and whilst again it hasn't had a load of love outside Stitch Mania, it has had a little bit. And this is where I got to. I'll put up a picture of where it was last time. And this is where I got to. Yay, so I've nearly finished that big pig. I was hoping I would finish that big pig, but yeah, I just couldn't keep my eyes open that Friday night. I literally couldn't. I was just falling asleep with my needle in my hand. So I didn't make it. I did not make it. But yeah, I absolutely love those pigs. Pigs are one of my favourite animals. This is on 40 count Newcastle linen that I tea coffee dyed myself. And I absolutely... Oh, I'm going to cough again. Right, sorry. Just edited out that big bit of coughing and the disgusting tea drinking. I absolutely wanted this fabric to be that grungy. I'm going to stitch most of the stacks on here, not all of them. Some of the more recent ones I'm not massively keen on. And I'm going to keep them all as separate pieces. I don't want it to be one piece. I'm going to cut them out and frame them separately, but they're going to be teeny tiny little frames. And yeah, just hang them in like kind of a gallery wall style. This is the first one, so we've got a long way to go before that project reaches its denouement. If it ever does. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Don't be defeatist, Rachel. Don't be defeatist. So there we go. So that was that. There's stitched in all the called for, which I think is week's fireworks. Okay. So, this is stuff I haven't recorded before. This is all new stuff. I'm just going to pause the camera because I'm going to run up against my half-hour buffer. For some reason, cameras in the EU don't record for more than 30 minutes. I don't know why, but they don't. So I'm going to stop and start the recording, and then we will crack on with the new stuff that I haven't filmed before. Woohoo! Feel like I won't be in a kind of, what, deja vu territory now. Okay, so here we go with the things I have been stitching this week. So on Saturday the 14th was my second new start, and I spun the wheel with you last week when I didn't record, and the wheel picked out Hello from Liz Matthews, a Pennsylvania bird, which looks like this. I love this. I think it's great. Love Hello from Liz Matthews. This is not as nearly as big a piece as it looks either. It's actually quite a small chart, she says. It is, can I see, 90 by 122. So it's absolutely not massive. And I stitched this watching Ghostbusters. My eldest, on a Saturday night, we let stay up a bit later than the others. And we often watch a film, and we watched Ghostbusters, but I fell asleep before the end. I was really tired. It took me a long time to recover from that dinner party. It really did. A long time. It took me a whole week. But this is where I got to. So just a bit of the border done. Not loads. And I'm stitching this on 40 count clotted cream by Foxglove and Lace Linen. So similar to the clotted cream I showed you on Jane Marshall. And I am stitching it in all the called for DMC. So yeah, long way to go on that one. Just, they've got these really cool, it's got these really cool circles at the top. Can you see? Ow, ow, ow. Oh, my needle was just sticking in my leg there. Oh, that's not what you want. So that was new start number 2. I don't know when that's coming back out to play again. But love that. Very excited to get that one underway. It's Hello from Liz Matthews. And then on the Sunday was my third new start. So they kind of come in chunks, the new starts, because they're generally where the Lizzie Kate yearbook flip-its had been. And I've kind of, the year I started those, I kind of did 2 months and then something else, 2 months and then something else. So they kind of come in blocks of 2 where I get my new starts, because I've finished all of those now. So what I started on the Sunday was in another Penelope's Pocket Project bag. I have a problem with Penelope's Pocket Project bags. And this was Quaker Alphabet by La-Di-Da. This was a gift from Sarah, who makes the bags at Penelope's Pocket, because I just commented on her Instagram one day when she was stitching this, and I said, oh, I've never seen that before, it's really lovely. And it is an old La-Di-Da, it's copyright 2007, so I don't know if you can still get it. I should have a look on 123 Stitch or something and see if it's still there. I don't know if it's out of print or not, but I'd never seen it before. And then I bought this bag that it's in, and when I unwrapped the bag, the chart was in there. Oh, it was just so kind of her. It was just really, really lovely, and absolutely didn't have to. So thank you again, Sarah. And I have now started it. And which one was it? This is where I am. I'm really pleased with this. I'm really pleased with my fabric and thread choice, unlike Sansusi. I think looking at this makes me realise how not happy I am with my Sansusi choice. Let me know if you agree with me. Anyway, that's where I am with this one. This is stitched on 36 count latte by Northumberland Sampler House, I think this fabric is. It's a lovely fabric, and I used, for the first time ever, I used sulky. So this lighter one is what I've used so far, and then if you look at the chart, it's not all one colour, so the letters on the chart, you can see, are darker than the kind of Quaker motifs around it, so I'm going to use that darker blue for the letters. And I'd never stitched with sulky before, and it is different. I will say it is different because when I stitch with 2 threads, I'm really pernickety about my threads laying flat. I'm a real fusspot about it. I don't railroad. I kind of do it, which I'm sure some people are telling me off because of like oil on your hands, just like natural oils. But I kind of stroke mine flat. So before I put the top leg of the stitch in, I kind of almost stroke the threads in it. For me, I can't really explain it, but it kind of gets them to lay flat. So I am a big old fusspot, as my youngest would say, about my stitches being flat. And obviously with sulky, because it's only 1 strand, but it's like a pearl cotton, you don't get that feeling of them laying flat. But once you get used to that, and if you're not a massive fusspot about your stitches laying flat, not that they look twisted, they're really nice stitches. Let's see if we can get it to go in close. Go on, you want to, you nearly did. Go on, focus. There. Yeah, they're really nice stitches. It felt different to how I usually stitch. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So that's going to live in this project bag, obviously with the pattern Sarah gave me until it's finished. So yeah, I think I could be converted to a sulky. I'm not there yet, and I definitely would not want to stitch on 40 count with sulky. I think because these are, what are these, 12 weight? Yeah, 12 weight petites, and I think that would be, for me, too thick to go through a 40 count. I think 36 count is the absolute limit for these. I think they'd be alright on a 32. I think you'd get enough coverage on a 32. But yeah, I certainly would not want to go to a 40 count with a 12 weight sulky. Just for me, just for kind of coverage that I like. So that was that. Then on Monday the 16th, we were back to a whip. Now, this has a pitiful amount of stitching on it, and I started this in 2020, but it has only been stitched on in the 3 days of Mania. I don't know why, because I love it. I absolutely love it. But sorry, another coughing fit. Right. It's Light by Barbara Anna, which is a freebie and is still available on her website, so I will link that below. And this is so sad, the lack of stitching this has had. Oh, it's coughing. This is where it is. So I've got a fox's ear and a sleeve and a collar, and that's about it. And I've made a small start on the dress. This is stitched on 28 count opalescent cashel linen in Al's Dark Magic by the Crafty Kitten. I know you can see that sparkle. I think dark fabrics really show up opalescent sparkle. What I will say is it is sending my eyes a little more, because yeah, you can just really see it. But I wanted it to look like it was night and she was walking in the night, so I have had to do a bit of colour conversion, because obviously I was worried that dark dress would blend into the fabric. So my fox is going to have a lighter blue dress, this light blue here. It's like a turquoise or a teal maybe. So I do love that, and I do feel really sad how little progress it has had. I do feel sad about that. But another one that needs some focus. Is it an out and about piece? I feel like no, just because of the fabric. I mean, it does, there's a lot of sparkle in that fabric, isn't there? There's a lot. Oh, coughing! I think it's because I've had to talk for a long period of time, so I haven't been coughing this badly. But I think it's just the extended period of talking. I've like got a tickle in my throat now, and it's just making me want to cough all the time. I'm going to drink a bit more of the disgusting cold tea. We're nearly there. We've only got 3 days left. Okay. So then on Tuesday the 17th, I was on another new start. And the wheel picked for me one from this new book by Heartstring Samplery. This was a market release. It's called Small Samplings 1, a collection of antique needleworks. And I'm doing the first one in the book, which is this one, Ester Cannon. And this is where I got to. This is a massive piece of fabric for a tiny design. Where am I? Here. This is where I am. So I am stitching this on 32 count florin by Chromatic Alchemy. I used to be in their Fabric of the Month club, which is why I have quite a bit of their fabric, although I think this was just one of the range fabrics that I bought. So obviously that's not called for. The called for is, what's the called for? Picture This Plus 32 count ale. Well, you're not going to get your hands on any Picture This Plus at the moment, are you? And the called for threads are both Weeks Dye Works Dirt Road and Juniper. And I am using neither of those either, so none of this is called for. I am using Classic Colourworks Wood Smoke for the brown, and Colour and Cotton Arugula for the green. Now I think this might be mislabelled because I have another skein of arugula and I've seen other people show it, and my other skein is like a purple. So I can't promise if you buy Colour and Cotton Arugula you're going to get this nice sage green. I think it might have been mislabelled. But I think that's actually quite close to the model and actually what I like and what I had in stash, so winner. Right, my husband's just coming downstairs. He's been working, he's working from home today. He works, we have a building out in the garden that he works in when he's working from home. I think he wants his lunch, so I'm going to stop here just for a moment and I'm going to go and have maybe a bit of lunch, and then I will come back and hopefully get this tickle out of my throat by eating something and just quickly finish off the last few things I have to show you. Sound like a plan. Right. See you soon. Right, back again for the final instalment of this session. I think the tickle in my throat is now gone, so hopefully less coughing. I've had my lunch and I've got 10 minutes and then I've got to go to this poetry competition. So having said right at the beginning of this, I'm not going to be up against it. I'm totally up against it as usual. So, new start number 5 on Wednesday the 18th was a sampler in green and blue by Little Robin Designs. I'm not stitching this in green and blue, just to add confusion, but that is the name. I'm stitching this, let me show you where I am. I've got a lot of stitching done actually. It's not exciting stitching, but it's a lot of stitching. Here's where I am. You see? My husband was away on Wednesday night, so I stayed up late and yeah, stitched away. This is stitched on 32 count Belfast in the colour Fallen Leaf by Crafty Kitten Fabrics. And I have done my own conversion, and mine is going to be stitched in kind of a blue and gold palette, which I'm really excited about. I think it's going to look great. These are all pulled from stash and are a mixture of Colour and Cotton, and I think the rest are all Gentle Art. Yeah, Gentle Arts. So yeah, really pleased with how much I got done. And I'm still going to have a good chunk of fabric at the bottom to fit some smalls on. So yeah, that is the width and the length of the piece. So it's not huge. It's not a huge piece. It is 94 wide by 100 high. So, and I don't think it'll take long to stitch up, to be honest. I think the border's kind of the main work, because I find letter stitching usually quite quick. So again, might be another one for an out and about candidate at some point this year. So that was that. And then my yesterday's stitching was my 6th new start, and I posted it on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, and it was The Duchess of Rouen by Mirabilia. I think you all know, if you've been here before, I am not a fancy lady stitcher. This is the first time I have stitched a Mirabilia. I'm not stitching it because I am a convert to fancy ladies or because I love this design. I'm still an adolescent with an adolescent sense of humour. And if you see a pretty lady with a fancy dress, that is lovely. However, there seems to be some form of appendage on the front of that dress, and that is why I am stitching it. It's going in my downstairs loop. So yes, I am a 12-year-old boy, really. Anyway, so I made a start yesterday. I have all the threads and I've got the, what do they call it, embellishment pack, all the things. I'm just going to hook this pair of scissors out because I want a pair of scissors to take out with me in a bit. Anyway, it's stitched. Let me show you where I am. I started it yesterday, and I don't know if you'll see it because it's, I'll see if I can get it to show you because that is going to be hard to see. Even I can't see it in the camera. I'm going to put my hand on it. There are some white stitches here. Can you see those? Yeah. You can see the sparkle in that fabric as well, can't you? So this is stitched on 32 count Murano, Opal Murano, in the colour Icicle by Crafty Kitten. And it's easier to see that stitching in real life than it is on camera. And the fabric's very sparkly, and as you know, I don't tend to use sparkly fabric, so I didn't know when else I would use it. But her skin is stitched in white, and this bit is B5200. And it does have back stitching round, so when it's finished, because you can't see anything there, can you? When it's finished, it will be a lot easier to see. So that is where I've got to. Obviously, it's all the called for DMC. I haven't done any conversions or anything like that. So that's what I've been stitching. That is the whole lot. I'm moving on to my Stitch Mania Day 20 piece today, which I will show you next time. I have a teensy bit of haul to show you. Because obviously I haven't been buying anything because I've just been stitching on all these whips and a few new starts, but most of the new starts were pulled from Stash, to be honest. My teeny bit of haul is just my clubs, to be honest. I got the auto ship Cottage Garden samplings. I get this through Peakside. And then I am in the classic Colourworks thread club from Lakeside Needlecraft, and they send you 10 classic Colourworks every month alphabetically, and you just dropping them everywhere, and you just build up your stash. So those are they. I'm not going to go through them all colour by colour. I did last time, but I am up against it, so sorry. That's that. I have my knitting to show you very quickly. I was doing this morning actually. I went to one of my children's assemblies and I was knitting away in assembly. So I still haven't cut colour 4 yet, but once I finish this row I can cut colour 4, and that stitch marker here is how much I've done since last time. So I haven't done loads of knitting since last time I showed it. Has slowed down a bit. But yeah, still loving it, still hoping to get there soon. This is Grady Fady. It's a Grady Fady cowl by Lisa Richardson. I'll link it down below. Have I got the cover sheet? No, I don't, sorry. I'm not going to go find it. That's it. So I hope all is well with you. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen here. Sorry it's been a bit broken up and a bit coffee and a bit rambly, but I hope you've liked my projects. Please do let me know about that Sansusi long dog piece and what the heck I should do about that. And yeah, I'm going to go. I hope to film next week, which will get me back on my regular week and also wrap up Stitch Mania. So obviously I only do Stitch Mania till the digits are in the year, so 2022. So I'm only going to the 22nd, so 3 more days. And I have a new start on the last day. And then after that, I'm going gangbusters on my Peanuts Afghan again. So hopefully there'll be a lot of Peanuts to show next time I film next Friday. Right, that's all. I would top tip other floss tubers, make sure you're up against a hard deadline where you have to go to something and then you don't ramble at the end. You can just go, I have to go now, bye. Which is what I'm going to do. So, enjoy your stitching. I've got to go. Have a good week, stitchers. Bye.